Hello, my third grade friends. Today we are doing Unit 1, Lesson 7, which begins on page 33 of your book. And in the first chunk of today's lesson, we're talking about some patterns with tens. Basically, we're just continuing with everything you've learned before by counting by tens, right? And then, I almost ripped my page out. And then later, we're going to talk about what letters are doing in math. They're called variables, and it's not as scary as you think, so don't stress about that. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's turn your paper this way. If you have your math board out, that's great. Basically, this is showing the similar, idea that multiplication is repeated addition, right? So we have here one group of 10, 10 one time, and it is 10. Here we have two groups of 10. Here's the first one, there's the second one. Two groups of 10 is 20. Three groups of 10 is 30. Four groups of 10 is 40. Five groups of 10 is 50. Six groups of 10 is 60. Seven groups of 10 is 70. Eight groups of 10 is 80. Nine groups of 10 is 90. And 10 groups of 10, it's not 10t, it's 100, right? 10 groups of 10 is 100. So that is consistent with everything you've done before with counting by tens. It's just adding the number of tens. And then since we've already talked about division, if you look at this pattern of division, it is 10 divided by groups of 10 is 1. 20 divided by 10 is 2, 30 divided by 10 is 3, 40 divided by 10 is 4. This is how many tens are in that number. So there's 1 10 in 10, there's 2 tens in 20, there's 3 tens in 30. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and take that idea and do a couple problems. We're going to write an equation and solve the problem using our knowledge of tens. Raymundo has 9 dimes. Now this is a little bit secretive. A dime is a coin. How many cents is 1 dime worth? 10 cents, that's right. So how many cents does he have? So go ahead, give it a shot, write an equation. What do you think? Okay, now I'm going to go 9 times 10 equals 90 cents. Okay. Yoko has some dimes, we don't know how many, in her pocket and no other coins. She has a total of 70 cents. How many dimes does she have? So 70. Are we going to be multiplying? I mean, there is a way you could be multiplying, but you're probably going to write it out like this. 70 divided by 10 equals a certain number. Or alternatively, you could write 10 times secret number equals 70. Either way, this number will be the same. Now, in a moment, we're talking about variables, and we're pretty comfortable so far using this book and in previous grades using those boxes. Basically, the variable is just the box, so it's just a mystery number. So you could say 70 or 10 times, you could say D instead of having a box there. And then later, somewhere else, you could say D equals, let's count by tens and see how many it is until we hit 70. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. That's right. So D equals 7. 7 dimes. Jonah picked 40 strawberries. He gave them to 10 of his friends. Each friend got the same number, so equal size groups of strawberries. How many strawberries did each friend get? So you could have 10 strawberries times the number of friends, and that equals 40. Then you say, okay, 10 times what is 40? You could have also written 40 divided into groups of 10 is how many groups, right? How many friends? So 10, 20, 30, 40. How many is that? 4. So 4 friends. F equals 4. There are 10 Space Command trading cards in each pack. Zoe bought 5 packs of cards. How many cards did she buy in all? Go ahead and try this one, and if you're feeling funky, put a variable in there. All right, I'm going to give it a shot. You ready? So 10 cards in each pack times 5 packs equals number of cards. 10 times 5, I'll count it out. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, 50. C equals 50 cards. All right, number 5. There were 80 students in the auditorium. There are 10 students in each row. How many rows of students were there? So we got our 80 divided by 10 equals the number of rows. Or you could have 10 times R, and that will equal 80. Think about it for a moment. You can count it out if you need to. R equals 8 rows. One thing I do want to point out here is in these two related equations, R is the same amount. But if 5 pages through the math book, we're on a completely different problem, not talking about this auditorium and students, you know, at their assembly or whatever, there could be another problem that uses the letter R, and it's not going to necessarily be 8. I mean, it still could be maybe, but it's like you can't take this letter R and apply it to all situations where there's a letter R. Well, there's like some cases where it is like that, but it has to, you know, like, has to be a constant of some sort. So we just put the letters, you know, to keep track of what we're talking about, but they can interchange, they can change, they can vary. That's why we call them a variable, because they can vary. They're able to vary. Okay, last one on this page. A roll of ribbon has 60 inches of ribbon. Harper cut all the ribbon into 10 equal length pieces. How many inches long is each piece? So 60 divided by 10 equals, and we'll do a cursive L for the length, because if you just do one of these, it looks like a 1, right? So cursive L. L equals 6 inches. All right, good job, everybody. Let's go ahead and turn the page. So we've already talked a little bit about it. An equation is a math sentence that has an equal sign. So like 4 plus 1 equals 5. That's an equation. If it's only this 4 plus 1, that is an expression. But because it has an equal sign, it's an equation. A variable, we talked about it a little bit a moment ago. It's the letter in math, and it could change, right? It could be something different, and it's just kind of taking the place of a number you don't know what it is right now, but you can figure it out. So when you write equations, you can use a letter to represent an unknown number. This letter is called a variable. Each of these equations has a variable. So A times 10 is 60, 70 equals C times 7, W equals 80 divided by 10, 9 equals 90 divided by C, 2 times Y equals 18, E equals 9 times 2, F equals 18 divided by 2, 18 divided by N equals 2. So when it says solve each equation, we're used to like having an expression on one side, an equal sign, and then maybe this part being empty. But when you have a letter, you can figure out what the letter is by figuring out the missing number. So 7 times A equals 14. Well, what's 7 times 1? 7. What's 7 times 2? 14. So by knowing that math fact of 7 times something equals 14, we can know that A is 2. 90 divided by G equals 9. Now here you're going to have to think, okay, how can I, use my knowledge of multiplication facts? Because you're probably more comfortable with your multiplication facts. So 9 times what equals 90? 10, right? So G equals 10. 10 divided by what equals 5? 10 divided by 1 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Or you could do 5 times what equals 10. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. So n equals 2. 8 times what equals 40? Well, 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. And then 8 times 5 is what? 40. So F equals 5. That's holding the place of that missing 5. Now we're going to practice, and we've already done a little bit already today, of writing and solving equations with variables. So it says right here, write an equation and solve the problem. A box of straws holds 60 straws. There are 10 straws in each row. How many rows are there? So 60 divided by 10 equals R, or you could have 10 times R equals 60. In either case, R equals 6 rows. All right, number 12. Ethan used 9 dimes to pay for his book. How much did his book cost? I want you to go ahead and give it a shot. Hit pause and hit play when you're ready. Okay? So I'm going to have 9 times 10 equals C, or C equals 90. Okay, 13. There are 10 relay teams with an equal number of people on each team. There are 50 people running in the race. How many people are there on each team? So we have 10 times P for people equals 50, or 50 divided by 10 equals P, and in either case, P equals what? 10 times what is 50? Is it 10 times 10? No, that's 100. 10 times 8? No, that's 80. 10 times 5. Good. So 5 people. And often we like to use, like if we're talking about rows, we might use R. If we're talking about cost, we might use C. If we're talking about people, you might use P. And that'll help you keep track of what you're doing. Sometimes there are multiple variables and you have to plug in lots of different things. And so if you stay organized, it's a lot easier for everybody. Okay. All right, number 14, Amanda has 20 bracelets. She gave the same number of bracelets to 2 of her friends. How many bracelets did she give to each friend? So 20 divided by 2 equals B for bracelets, or 2 times B equals 20. B must equal what? 10. Okay. Here we go. We got a Puzzle Penguin. Remember, Puzzle Penguin always gets it wrong, but he makes mistakes that lots of kids make, so that's why we talk about him, but he's doing his best, you know, trying. Dear math students, today my teacher asked me to write a word problem that can be solved using the division 40 divided by 10. Here is the problem I wrote. Kim has 40 apples and puts 4 in each bag. How many bags did Kim use? Is my problem correct? If not, please correct my work and tell me what I did wrong. So, think about it. Hit play when you're ready. You can pause it now to think. Oops. You wrote a problem that goes with 40 divided by 4. So to correct it, you could say put 10 apples in each bag. And then the number of bags would be 4. All right. Now we're going to practice writing and solving a problem. Write a word problem that can be solved using the division of 60 divided by 10, then write a related multiplication word problem. There's not a lot of space for this, so we'll use a short name. Al has 60 stickers. There are 10 on each page. How many pages? Then the related multiplication word problem might be Al has some pages each with 10 stickers. There are, I guess it's not really clear, but I'll say has 6 pages. How many stickers in all? How many stickers in all? Whew, that's like barely fitting in there. Stickers. Okay. Write a word problem that can be solved using the multiplication of 10 times 3, then write a related division problem. Also very small. Let's try Ty, another short name. What could Ty have? 10 plates with 3 pretzels, right? Each with 3 pretzels. How many pretzels? And then the division problem would be Ty has 30 pretzels evenly divided onto 10 plates. How many on each plate? I'm sorry, this looks so messy because it's so small. Okay, there you go. We did it. Nice job, everybody. The last thing before you should go see if you have an assignment is take a look at this, quiz yourself, get a sibling or a friend or a parent or somebody, call them up on the phone, have them quiz you on your multiplication and division facts every day, part of your routine. Gotta do it. It's gonna make your whole life way easier, so practice those facts. All right, now after you do that, see if you have an assignment, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.